Welcome back to Electrical U. Today, I'm going to show you how to remove, test, and then replace your circuit breaker. With that said, let's get right into it. Okay, we've made it to our sub panel here, and this is where I'm going to show you how to remove, test, and replace your circuit breaker. But before we get going, I just need to tell you that this is my isolated sub panel I use for demonstration purposes. It has no electricity in it. The reason I bring this up is because your panel at home where you're going to be testing, removing your circuit breakers will have electricity running into it 24/7. So step one, call your electric company, have them come out, remove power so it is safe to open up and work on. Do not touch anything inside until you have removed power from your panel. And I say that because it's very important. You don't want to electrocute yourself. Now, if any of this feels like too much at this point, shut the video off, call your local electrician. They are qualified to work on stuff like this. They have the proper PPE, they know the procedures, and they'll get it done for you fairly cheap. If you are confident in testing, removing, replacing your circuit breaker, once you've got power removed from your panel, the first step is to remove the outside cover. So let's get into that first. Okay, so to do that, we're going to open up the panel here. And as you can see, we've now accessed 4 screws. So we'll go ahead and remove the 4 screws. Now that we've removed the screws, we can lift off our cover panel. As you can see, we've now accessed the interior of our panel here. So for my sub panel to access my breaker line right here, I'm going to have to remove this cover here to access the wiring. Again, do not remove the covers on your panel unless you're ensured that you have removed power from your panel and it's safe to work on. So I've got 4 more screws here I've got to take off to access my breakers and my sub panel. And now that I've got the screws off the inner panel, I can gently lift my cover straight off like that. And as you can see, I've now accessed my breakers along with the wiring that's attached. Your main panel is going to likely look a lot different. You're going to have a couple of service lines coming in from the top. Those are your 2, your hot and your neutral. Now you'll notice I'm using insulated screwdrivers here just for an extra layer of protection. I'll go ahead and link these Weehaw insulated drivers that I picked up off Amazon. So we're going to change out this top breaker here. First thing we need to do is remove our load wire. So it's just a screw that holds in the wire between 2 metal plates right there. So just need to loosen that up enough to take off the wire. This is actually the output side of the breaker. So once you've removed power to your panel, you should have no electricity flowing through anything, and especially on this side of your load because this is going to your outlet or your wall switch. Right here, I've got a non-contact voltage tester. Now this is one more layer of protection if you want to just run it down your bus bar there. If I had power, that green light would be flashing orange and this would be vibrating. This is the FLIR. I'll go ahead and link this into the description as well. They're fairly inexpensive and a great tool to have around the house. And now that I've removed my load wire off of the breaker, it's now time to remove the breaker out of the panel itself. Now to do that, on this particular sub panel, these breakers are actually locked in with a screw on the bus bar, as you can see right there. Your typical home residential main panel will most likely have a rocker style breaker, and I'll demonstrate one of those here in just a minute. For this sub panel, I'm going to go ahead and remove the screw from the bus bar on that breaker. Now, once I've removed the screw, I'm able to take it and it kind of rocks out off the bus bar like that, and then pull the clip, and that clip right there is what hooks on this plastic tab right here, which is what locks it in on this type of sub panel. Okay, most likely folks, on your residential panel, you're going to have a breaker that looks a lot like this one. You have your load wire that hooks in right there on that screw, just like I showed you. And then you have a couple of tabs. Now, one of these is actually the contact for the circuit breaker itself, and the other one is just a clip. So your metal clip would clip in like that, and the other side snaps in to the plastic like that. And then to remove it, you would simply rock your breaker out like this, and then pull it off the bus bar like that. So I've got my Fluke 87 here. You can do this with any kind of multimeter as long as you've got a resistance check here with the continuity. Now I have the continuity turned on, so if you touch two leads together, it does beep. It's an easy auditory indication that you've got continuity. So on your breaker, you'll turn it around. Now some breakers are going to be a little bit different. I've got one contact here, which is my input from the bus bar. So I'll put one lead on that metal contact there. On the other side, I've got my load screw. And if I touch that in the off position, you should get no continuity. Now, when you flip that on, you've got continuity. Flip it off, the circuit breaker's tripped, you've lost continuity. And that's how a circuit breaker works. Much like your wall switch on your house. But these have internals that allow it to disengage the switch once you have a short circuit or a ground fault. We know that this circuit breaker is operating correctly. When we turn the switch on and off, it does break the circuit connection inside. Now, if you were to perform that same test, you've got your leads, one on your load, one on your input screw. You flip that switch and nothing's happening. You've got a bad breaker. Something internally is not connected. It's not making that connection, so you need to replace it. A few more quick things you can do to test your breaker is some physical checks. So if you look at your breaker and you're seeing some burnt spots, some overheating, any signs of damage, you'll want to go ahead and replace the breaker. Don't want to take any chances putting a overheated breaker back into your panel. It's only going to cause more issues in the future. Another test you can do is while holding the switch, give it a shake. If you were to hear a bunch of metal pieces rattling around, you've got something come loose. Now, sometimes these clips in the back can rattle. Make sure it's not that. You can also hold that, give it a shake, but you're basically listening for anything internal that is rattling around. That could mean that pieces inside are loosening up and will cause some shorting in there. You don't want to put that kind of breaker back in. It's safe just to go ahead and buy another one. Now, when it comes to replacing circuit breakers, there are many different brands, different specifications, shapes, sizes, all of that. So the main thing I'm getting at here is make sure you take your old breaker with you to the electrical store, whether that's your home goods store or whatever. Bring it with you and make sure you match up all these specifications exactly. And you also want to make sure your connection points are the exact same style. If you can get the exact same breaker that you're replacing, that's your best bet. Now, you'll see a number on the switch here. If you're not aware of that, that is the amperage. That is imperative that you do match that as well. You don't want to put a 15 amp breaker in the spot of a 20 amp or vice versa. That can cause fires and other issues. So now that we've tested the breaker and determined it was bad, we've purchased our replacement breaker. It's time to reinstall it. So step one is to find our metal clip here. We'll clip that right onto the plastic tab, push it on with a little bit of force. You feel it snap in, and then we're going to rock this into position. Now again, on your residential panel, you most likely have a clip right here that locks onto the bus bar. No screw required. Now remember, the power is still off to the panel right now. You don't want to do this with power still on. Now we'll carefully, hopefully without dropping it, put our screw back into the bus bar, which is going to allow power to flow through our breaker and out our load wire. As you can see, there's a metal plate underneath the screw, and that's where our load wire will connect. Now you want to make sure that you get the wire in between those two metal plates, not underneath and not around the screw. It goes right in between that metal plate, and that essentially locks it in, and it will not vibrate out or come loose over time. So we'll insert it in between those two metal plates, and then we'll lock it down. You want to get it pretty snug on here. You don't want it to come loose. Now there is such a thing as over tightening. You don't want to do that either and snap your screw head off and have to purchase another breaker. That's pretty tight. Now give it a tug and just do a good inspection. Make sure your wire is between the two plates, which mine is. And our circuit breaker is now reinstalled. It's time to put the covers back on. So I'll go ahead and start out with my internal panel here. Again, your residential panel is most likely going to be fastened a little bit different, but you get the idea. Now that we've got our internal panel installed, we can go ahead and put on the main protection cover. Now you want to make sure that you hold these as you put your screw in, because if this panel drops on your foot, it will hurt, and don't ask me how I know that. So once you get one screw fastened, it should hold up your panel well enough to go ahead and fasten the rest. Okay, and you've done it, folks. We've successfully replaced one of these circuit breakers on the sub panel. And folks, if you enjoyed this video, watch this one right here. I'm going to show you exactly how the internals to the circuit breaker actually works. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel right here. It does something to the algorithm. It lets us help so many more people. And I'll see you again next time on Electrical U.